So I noticed that Billy has a knife. Is this like Resident Evil 4 style knife, or
I
is it?
don't know.
Okay, we don't know yet. Yeah, we have seen a.
Although it cannot be Resident Evil 1 style knife because he doesn't lose it after
Oh,
killing somebody.
good point. Good point.
All right, creating save data.
So anyway, hello everybody. We are obviously this is Wayne.
And this is Ben. I'll be the one playing this time around.
Yes. We start like I was starting to say.
Subwoofer. Yes.
We are familiar with. We don't actually have a sub on our computer.
I don't care.
We do actually. We do. Yeah. Yeah. We have a good speaker set.
Oh, we have a quick turn even.
Ooh. We have seen the Dark Kid screenshot LP of Resident Evil Zero, the original one on GameCube, right? I think it was GameCube, and that's about it. You know, we know there are leeches. We know that Billy F. and Cohen is a pretty tough dude, and that's language. Watch your language, Mister.
Language family friendly.
Family friendly.
All right. New game. Let's go with normal.
I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed in you.
I would remind you that this is Resident Evil in the old school style, which
true.
makes it quite a bit more difficult than RE4.
Right. We are on 69 projections. So
that match current standards. I appreciate that.
It's a game with standards.
A Midwestern town in America, Raccoon City, a solitary island far off in the sea, Rockfort Island, an island that would become the second Raccoon City, Sheena Island.
Sheena was my favorite in
Still
Tales of
many
Symphonia. She's kind of
unanswered
underpowered,
questions
though.
about these seemingly unrelated yet intensely traumatic events. Though it is believed that the International Enterprise umbrella was somehow involved, little is known as to the origin of this faceless corporation. When was it established? By whom?
Those are all things that should be publicly available.
Created.
Not if it's so closely held
To
company.
uncover the truth, we must delve deeper into the events which transpired in the beginning, before the mansion incident.
Really?
1998. How old / where were you in '98?
Do you think so too?
I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, Grandma, seemingly unrelated. I don't trust this narrator, is I think what you're trying to say.
And it's important to notice that that is indeed an Umbrella employee.
Yeah. I pretty much have nerves of steel, and I would be pretty much right freaked out by that.
Same here.
Grandma was 1 in 1998. Darn kids.
Now, to be fair, I do not know who this person is. I can take a guess, but
For now, we're just gonna go with the leechmonger. How's that? Yeah, Ben and I were joking about like pulling up our webcam and trying to stream with a Plague Doctor mask on, in honor of all the leeches. But
Nothing in our training could ever have prepared us for the nightmare that ensued. We never stood
somebody needs to get Rebecca some coffee before delivering these lines.
What's going on? Engine failure. Emergency landing.
I'm going to be very disappointed if we don't cut into a live action portrayal like they did in the original Resident Evil.
I don't think they end up doing that for Zero.
Very disappointed. Not actually, because it was pretty bad. But those of you like Grandma Naughty that were 1 year old in '98 maybe may not know just the glut of FMV CD games in their like mid late '90s. Well, that's not good.
What happened?
Court order for transportation. Prisoner Billy Cohen, ex
5'9", 163.
26 years old. Court-martialed and sentenced to death July 22nd. prisoners to be
Oh,
transferred
on
to
my
the
birthday.
Ryuthon base.
Happy birthday to me.
Those poor soldiers. They were good men just doing their jobs, and that scum murdered them and escaped.
All right, everyone, let's separate and survey the area. Our friend is brutal and ruthless. Keep your guard up.
Those are just the names of his biceps.
A train.
Never really understood the idea of having a medic, you know, on hand for this. What's basically a SWAT team.
Well, for obvious reasons.
Such as.
Because when you have a SWAT team going in, people get shot. And sometimes you don't want them to die.
Well, you don't just, you know, take everybody back to a hospital like you do in... like, because you don't normally deploy SWAT teams to mansions in the woods either in real life. So.
The other important thing is that when you have basically them acting as a first responder unit, it is entirely possible that the prisoner would himself be injured.
That's true, that's true. So yeah, that's true. I guess not so much of a medic, but you'd expect there to be EMTs along. So I guess in the absence of one of them, you'd have... yeah, hopefully none of you have a problem seeing the... That's one of the problems with these HD things, just how absolutely tiny the font is on these things. Oh, this is taking me back. I don't know why I say that, because we never played any of the original Resident Evils at the time they came out, but...
Officer Chambers from STARS Bravo team. Please identify yourself. Is someone there?
Yeah, she looks like 12. I understand, I think she's supposed to be 18, but that's really, really, really young to be part of a SWAT team.
Right.
But also, like,
excuse me, lady, that's mine.
Oh, they're just gonna throw me right in there.
Yep. This is definitely the old school style. Grandma asks, what happens when the medic gets injured? Well, I assume they treat themselves as best they can, and you know, you hope that doesn't happen. It's the same thing that when Ben had his surgery for his broken femur, you know, we joked around with the surgeon on staff at the time. And it's like, you know, since he was the only one working at that time of night when they brought him in for it, he's like, well, what happens, you know, if there's an emergency and you need operated on? And he's like, well, you wait like everybody else.
What just happened? I thought they were dead.
Yeah, generally speaking, the medic is never actually in the front line.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to let me pull up an option menu, are they?
Nope.
Well, that's frustrating.
When you pull up that menu, can you then... Oh, I bet we do it with like Escape or something. It's a PC game. You want to try it?
Sure. No.
Nope. Oh.
Well, that's not good, because now I don't quite remember what all the controls are.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Well, let me...
Let's see. So, this is map.
Grandma said they just sew their own head back on. That's if the medic is also a zombie. That's how that works. Hey, Doseku. Dosku, however that goes. Medics aren't even... Yeah, he's exactly right. Medics are not typically allowed to be armed. You know, this it's kind of an exception in this case because we're in this, you know, fantasy world where we're a couple of... Even though it's supposed to be based in the real world, we're in this fantasy world where a couple of treatments and herbs and poultices and stuff like that, instead of being things people laugh at, are enough to bring you back to, you know, full health with... Yeah, exactly, like the herbs right there. And I think that's the thing. I think she's like the... before they started letting everybody do it, like she was like a chemist or something like that.
We may have to quit and remap. Because it is not letting me access inventory.
Interesting. Lorax said he was just thinking that when the terrorist attack in San Bernardino last year, they interviewed a first responder that was trained to open fire to protect himself and others, when rushing into the scene. Interesting. Let's see. Resident Evil Zero Steam controls.
There we go.
Ah.
Okay, so I'm getting there. A mixing set.
Okay, I just pulled it up if we need to double check it anyway.
Fair enough. Okay, so I've got... two more full clips of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't even have the tank controls. Sweet.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh, it's a creep. Leech brush kick.
And for the 2 people in chat who got that reference.
Oh, StarCraft is... the kind of think of it, Ben's a fan of StarCraft. You should probably consider streaming that to really try to get the Twitch bucks.
Let's see, what was the button again? There we go.
I don't see how she could hit anything aiming that high above the zombie's head, but... Can you pull your knife and attack while that's on the ground, like Leon can? Or
I can't pull a knife.
okay, well, she probably doesn't have one. Yeah.
And her handgun has absolutely no stopping power. This is actually kind of sad.
Right. Well, your screen hasn't filled up with strawberry jam yet, so don't think you're in danger.
I'm actually in caution.
Can you verify that? I don't know if she's clutching her torso, but...
Oh, it looks like I can only fire at a certain distance, too.
Yeah.
That's kind of unfortunate. But no, because, see, this is the original style of Resident Evil.
Oh, you have to pull it up and check, right. So you definitely want to heal up, I'm guessing.
Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and keep going, and if I get a game over, that's fine.
No, just kind of learning the game and stuff, right?
Because if that gets me back to title, I can actually find my controls again. Yeah, that's the thing. When you're talking about military medics, Doseku is correct, but the police it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's like the medics with guns and stuff like that. It's actually a Geneva Convention thing, right. And that's wartime stuff. Where as much as the police, is militarized in parts, they're not technically military. Orders came from DeBoss.
Abandoned experiments.
Well, BOW was
crustacean T-virus. Oh, nice.
BOW was biological something weapon, I'm guessing.
Bioorganic weapon.
Bioorganic weapon, right. I was trying to think of a way to get an acronym to connect an SER to get Bowser out of it, but I got nothing.
Bizarre murders in the suburbs.
And nobody ever gets murdered in the suburbs. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I guess it's a good thing Rebecca can tell because we can't.
Definitely taking that.
Yeah, the 9mm by 19 Parabellum is pretty much the
I love how
iconic handgun.
You wonder how long it'll last. What? Because I am Rebecca Chambers.
My immersion.
Yes, BOW is normally attributed to tyrant class enemies, although it also applies to to any kind of animal one as well. Like liquors, I believe, are considered BOWs. The shark in one is BOW, things like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I think in Resident Evil 5 they started using that a lot more often. Like I think the Indesu, I think, is what they call the. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. The El Gigante in that game. I think Christopher's id is a BOW. There's a giant BOW or something. Then again, I guess one of those big guys probably would be that game's version of a tyrant. So. Doseku brings a really good point with the zombies and spiders in the early games, accidental creature creations and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess technically speaking, if you don't deliberately, genetically engineer your virus, monsters, they're just kind of accidents then. Yeah.
Put me back to caution.
Grandma, can we all appreciate the fact that some random pharmaceutical company decided to end the world for the lulz? For the money, not the lulz.
Although I will say...
Or for the science, I guess, you know.
Although I will say that, depending on what other companies you look at, the idea of them deciding to just sell, you know, hilariously overpowered weapons to the highest bidder actually sounds pretty
right.
Like, that's the reason why nuclear weapons have proliferated quite so far.
Yeah.
Because some people had money and were willing to spend for it.
Right. It's like, yeah, you know, like a good example for that one is, yeah, Pakistan is a nuclear state. Do you think they built their own? But now this reminds me about like a
conductor's office.
But the drug companies, you know, ending the world. There was this, this was a couple years ago now, but it's one of those genetically engineered plant things, like, you know, the Monsanto and all that stuff. And
Billy. Lieutenant Cohen.
So, you seem to know me. Been fantasizing about me, have you?
You're the prisoner that was being transferred for execution.
Vex.
With those soldiers outside.
Oh, I see. You're with stars. Well, no offense.
You're with stars.
Your kind doesn't seem to want me around, so I'm afraid our little chat time is over.
Wait! You're under arrest.
No thanks, Dollface. I've already worn handcuffs.
Quick shoot, you know.
No respect.
To be fair, when you run into a police officer who looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid, it's hard to take her seriously.
Worse than... You can't. You must be careful, Rebecca.
And now that Billy's out of the way, and you know, Deseku said the silly thing about all this is the whole mess is created because Oswald Spencer wanted to find the secret to immortality and use a virus as a way to research it. Yeah, and we have played RE5, so we know how that ends up working out for him. But
oh no.
Vex, why does something about the way the character design really bothers me in this? You know, it's...
That's the wrong way.
Rebecca is way too young, and for Billy, it seems like they kind of just went a little overboard on making him look like a thug sort of character. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they. I mean, and of course, they're part of it. Just they're trying to be creative.
Darn it.
We're just trying to be creative over having an entire cast of military and police people from the first game. So if you get nommed by a dog enough times, you get an achievement for it. Fair enough. Oh, she is 18. Deseku says. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Ben mentioned that. Speaking of Rebecca Special Forces, I hadn't heard about that. I knew that Jill was supposed to be Delta Force before, you know, Capcom. At the time, Capcom hadn't realized that women weren't allowed to be in Special Forces in at least the real, you know, U.S. Military. Of course, that ended last year with the two women making it through Army Ranger school, if you count Army Rangers. You know.
Oh yeah, I've forgotten. You actually do have to rotate things to find out new information.
Right. And Vex is like, well, she could be, but doesn't look like it. Hey, don't judge a book by its cover, Vex. Judge the book by the fact that it has no spine and it runs around screen. Well, she hasn't run around crying or anything yet.
Yeah.
She's just been a little weak about. Not a very forceful personality, I think.
Enrico! Hello! Can you read me? Please respond.
Rebecca, I can hear you. Now listen up. We've obtained detailed information on the fugitive. A document found in the wrecked wagon.
He's about yay tall with tattoos.
23 people. Over.
23 people.
We have also confirmed that he was institutionalized, so keep your guard up. Can you hear me, Rebecca? Over. Stay alert, Rebecca. He wouldn't think twice before killing you.
Enrico!
Those of you that base your idea on body count for things like this from video games and action movies, Might be surprised to know that 23 people would actually be up there with the highest serial killers of all time. It's like I think Jeffrey Dahmer was 14. Who was like I think like the up until like modern day terrorism, if you count those. I mean, serial killers you're gonna get that's about the highest they get.
It's gonna be dangerous from here on in. Why don't we cooperate?
Cooperate.
Vex is saying the reaction on the
And suddenly he changed his tune quite
Listen,
quickly.
little girl, if you haven't noticed, there's some pretty freaked out things on this train. And I've
people had to run in with the dogs too.
I think we stand a chance doing it alone.
We definitely had to run in
Let
with the
me
dogs.
trust you, a wanted felon? I don't need your help. I can handle this on my own. And don't call me little girl.
All right, Miss Do-It-Yourself. What should I call you?
The name is Rebecca Chambers, but that's
See, that's the thing. It's like Vex was saying, the reaction on the radio and everything. Nobody treats Rebecca like she's this, BA Special Forces agent.
Right.
Or I like Doseku's theory. It's like Billy knows what's coming. He's. But no, that's why I like the idea. He ran into some dogs too. It's like if you're gonna get, if you're gonna be dealing with fast, dangerous enemies like that, you want somebody else to take the hits for you. And Rebecca's already there anyway. I would probably disable the Steam messages.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't while you're playing.
You should be able to.
Hi guys. Actually, nobody's probably seen any of that stuff because. Okay, how do we do that? That was Steam settings,
Isn't it roof of the fifth car?
friends.
Okay.
Actually, it does. It's not set to display notifications, so I guess that was a one-off. Well, and now if anybody wants to guilt trip us about borrowing from Ven's stash of Steam games, we can't plead ignorance.
Okay, so I have to turn on the power in order to make that work.
Yeah, that was one of our friends who's been offering to share some of his games.
Well, I don't think you need to really explain it.
Well, I mean, they saw the message on there. Just
So
saying,
what? It's none of their business.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, we have a friend who agreed to share games with us.
That's all I was going to say. It's like, yeah, dude buys a lot of games on humble bundles and has offered to share some to help out our Steam roster. Because both of us are pretty new to it.
Excuse me, sir. Sir.
That's a lot of leeches.
I imagine the leech guy just there. It's like, okay, just keep the neck on. This is going to be great. Exactly, Grandma. Sharing is caring. Have you ever played Tales?
On the other side.
You ever played Tales of Azilia? I think it was. One of the characters says that as her line for helping you out in like the team mode in that game. So.
Can I pass it? Yes, good. No time for that now.
You got to shoot it. Yeah, Vex Leechmonger sure came a long way to visit. I don't think this is the Leechmonger himself. I think this is.
I think that's it. Oh, hey. Billy Cohen, action hero. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do that when I'm playing as him.
Right.
Also, remarkably good preservation instincts for leeches.
I say with the weird rendering, the weird graphics for these cutscenes, it makes it really look like Billy's tattoos are kind of like drawn on. or kind of like magic markered on or something. There's a JRPG build if I've ever seen one.
What's going on? Who's controlling the train?
Go and check out the first engine car. Listen, we gotta cooperate with each other from now on. You got that?
Well, I don't.
Clue in, girl. Or maybe you like being worm bait.
The leeches.
But you just remember, I will shoot you if you try anything funny.
Fine.
And with about 3 or 4 shots to the head, it might actually take him down.
If you find
Exactly, Doseka. We meet our Final Fantasy villain for the survival horror game. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Okay.
Rebecca, I'm about to send you a player's manual. For the character. Ah, okay. Nice of them to be able to tell, or nice of them to be able to detect you're using a controller and do the stuff accordingly.
Oh dear.
So you have to go to your so you have to go to your screen and then hit
Well, there are several different ways I can do this.
right. Yeah, I was kind of wondering what they do with the right stick because there's fixed camera angles in this one. So yeah, I guess it makes sense that that you would control them with
I
that.
love how they mentioned twice that you can. Oh, she can mix chemicals and herbs.
Ooh.
Okay.
Billy, however, cannot combine her
Can push many large objects.
because he is a man. He does manly things, like lift things, and is unable to ask for directions.
Okay, so to do this, I thought you turned off the.
I did. Notifications are off.
Huh. Okay, so why the status screen switches characters? Back to switch between solo and team behavior.
Grandma, twice the drugs. Yep. We have herb and we have other drugs.
Okay.
Billy is not the smart one of the group. Yes, he hits things and moves them.
Okay, so we can move like this.
Oh, what was that?
That was me switching characters.
Ah.
Okay.
One thing I thought was kind of neat, and they stopped doing it like pretty early on, which is what I was disappointed by. But in Resident Evil 5, Sheva and Chris will often have different reactions to the same thing when you can investigate them. They stopped doing it about halfway through. There are fewer things to investigate. They start saying the same thing. And most of the time, it was just reinforcing that Chris is a meathead and Chev is a woman. She's the empathetic one and stuff like that. But sometimes they really were different. Billy, move. I'm strong. Billy, smash.
Huh.
I mean, this is where I kind of wish they had different melee weapons. We could have a Billy club.
I am not even going to dignify that.
Ben's too busy concentrating.
No,
Well, that's not in the user's manual.
And they take anti-hacking seriously. Okay, so she'll be fine on her own.
Yeah. That being
Will
said,
I need to...
you can't reach it from there.
Huh. Okay.
We're accessing, are there any goat BOWs in this game? It looks like a link. Is that a link? Oh, no, that was thinking it's a link with the periods there. I don't think there are any...
Huh.
I don't think there are any Capra demons
I had something sharp.
in Resident Evil.
Train key. Let's see. What is that?
Yes, even though we have a Billy and he is gruff, there is no goat involved.
Okay, so that's the one to the conductor room.
Right. A media rain.
Hey, Medio.
Oh, best gaming duo on Twitch. I don't agree with. I don't agree with that, but I appreciate. The
I
sentiment.
agree with that.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment. Then, thank you. Yeah, there was a guy at one of the restaurants I was.
I have something sharp.
It's something very. Yeah, asking if I'd ever tried getting into broadcasting. I said, well, I've tried, but there's more to it than having a decent voice.
Powerful force from the outside.
Right. Oh, that'll work. Don't think even Rebecca's going to fit in there, though.
Oh,
interesting. Okay, I like that. Not the first time Billy has stashed some herb, I'm guessing. Oh, well, I appreciate it. No, it's one of those things where we know where we're at. We're small, gradually doing our thing and everything. So, and try. Yeah, I don't want to brag too much. I know that's why I saw Ben, but
Billy has shiny point. I am man.
Yeah, when we were playing some Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries the other day, and Ben flashbanged some people near the doors in the village, and I was swinging his Krauser and did the kick and smash it open. It's like that's how you properly open a door in one of these games. You have to take a big manly man and you kick it open.
Let's see. So I'm guessing that it'll be down on the first floor. Wait, was that something shiny? Oh, yeah. I think that was just the meal.
Yeah.
So, but no, my theory is if somebody believes that we're the best gaming duo, then it really is almost like shoving it back in their face to say, "Oh no, we're not."
Oh well.
If that's your honest opinion, then I will gladly accept it. And if it's not, I'll accept the flattery.
Okay, Ben has a better attitude about this sort of thing then.
Various types of food.
Exactly, Medio. That is a proper way of opening the door.